the host of the Nikki Show based out of Los Angeles. I'm on Spectrum, Channel 32, faithful user of Siri.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
and I want to start off by saying, I really loved Siri, especially on my Apple. Use it all the time. It's pretty amazing, especially with the upgrades and the latest technology. I love it.
Wow, nice.
Yes. And congratulations to you on all your success, with the most recognizable and influential AI voices in the world. Did you ever think you would be here today with this creation?
If I went back and talked to my younger self, I couldn't even dream of the life I get to live. So I didn't quite imagine it like this. But on the other hand, even though Siri is one of my greatest successes, I also dreamed of it being even more. So in some ways, I'm not quite satisfied. So I keep working in the area and trying to make it closer to how I imagined it so long ago.
Yes, and today, I reached out because I'm interested in learning how AI is shaping, more of the storytelling, the human connection, as well as, the communication, because I'm in media, and it's all about communication. That's pretty huge right now. So, that's what I was interested in. So I wanted you to break it down for us. Do you believe AI, like Siri, enhances the human connection?
My vision for Siri has always been about amplifying or augmenting human capacity in all sorts of areas. So I've always been interested in how do you use AI as a tool to help us do what we want to do better. And so Siri is a small step in that direction. Large language models coming now is moving us even further, giving us better tools. But yes, I do think AI can amplify human capability.
Do you think it can hurt as well?
Of course, every technology has good side and bad side. When we first came out with cars, amazing advance over the horse-drawn carriages, but it brought pollution, oil consumption, etc. So there's always a good and a bad, but overall, I'm a technology optimist, and I think that the benefits of AI will outweigh the negatives.
Now, how do you see Siri and AI transforming storytelling and media in the next, I would say, 5 to 10 years?
Well, people talk about whether AI can be creative, because in a sense it's just trained on a lot of data and it's trying to generate new responses. I do think AI can help amplify human storytelling, human creativity to take us to new heights. It's amazing what this technology can do.
It is so much. And far as the global impact, you're everywhere. You're reaching so many devices, over 2 billion, and it's global. So Siri exists across cultures and different languages. How do you ensure that AI voice respects cultural nuance while maintaining consistency?
So AI really is trained on data, and in the early days, Siri was trained on broadcast news announcers because that's where we had closed caption text. But it was better for the people who sounded like a newscaster, right? So not so good with kids, not so good with certain females, certain accents. So it all comes down to the data that we have. And what we need people, as more people use it, as more people contribute, that's how all the cultural nuances of how we speak, how we live, how we think, all of this can be, given to the same algorithms. to produce systems that are more in tune with who we are, not just, some neutral accent broadcast news person.
Now, what's next? How do you plan to just take it to the next level? I mean, because there's so many, I know, I don't want to say copycats, but I know there's a lot of people out there that want to be just like Siri, because you were the first, you were the first out there.
Thank you.
You were the blueprint.
We did kick off AI, so when Steve Jobs acquired our company, Siri, he went on All Things Digital, which was a conference, and said, "Why did you buy that search company?" Steve said, "They're not a search company, they're an AI company," and no one knew what he meant in 2010, because no one had used AI for 20 years prior. So we got it started, but there's so much left to evolve. AI can get smarter, not only at knowing things, but it's starting to be able to do things for us to help accomplish tasks, and that will be a big next wave.
What about like Siri robots and cars?
I think cars are coming,
Okay.
and I mean we have them today in San Francisco. Waymos are everywhere, but in restricted circumstances. I actually think that both self-driving cars and robots are a little harder than many people think. Everyone's like, oh, it'll be here in a year or two. I actually think it'll take a decade or two before the problems are solved with both of those technologies.
Yes, and I also, real quickly, I just want to talk about, the changes that you're doing in the community. You are also the co-founder of Change.org. You're in the community as well. You're a social activist. I love what you're doing on that end. You're not just, being a creator and making things happen, but you're also in the community and, being an activist. Tell us, I just want you to go a little bit about that too, because I love what you're doing, the background, on that.
I was a founding member and one of the first developers of Change.org. I can't really take credit for all of its success but I'm very proud to have been there in the early days. Change.org is such a powerful tool. There are 570 million people who use it in almost 200 countries. And what it is if you see something that should be different in the world, you can find a petition or start a petition. A petition has 3 elements. You say, I want this person or this organization to make this specific change, and here's why. And if you get enough people who agree with you and who sign or click on that petition, that shines a spotlight not only on a problem, but a proposed solution. And that company or organization now, even if they don't do the change, they need to probably respond if you get enough clicks. So it gives everybody a voice to think about how could something be better, what change needs to happen and why. I'm so proud of what Change.org does, and I'm very happy to have been there in the very early days.
And listen, just listening to you, everything you're doing is using your voice. It was birthed in you. That was you, your voice. From voice assistant to being a voice, out there helping others, make changes in the world. It all goes down to the voice. I love that.
Thank you. I've never thought about it in that way before, but that's a great observation. Thank you.
Yes, it is. That is your gift.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is truly amazing. That's powerful to me, just listening to that, that's very powerful. I love
so
that.
Much. Thank you.
and again, I love what you're doing. It all comes together. It's a lot of times that we do things in life. We can do different things, but it all comes down together to one.
I believe you mentioned stories. I believe that life is a book that we get to co-author. We're not the only author because life happens, but we can impact our story. And anytime you can dream and create things and then connect the different chapters into one long story, that's the secret of a fulfilling life. Because then you can look back and say, oh, I had some meaning, I had some purpose, I made a difference. And really, that's, life is a gift. That's the most precious thing we have, is the time spent here. So use your voice, make a difference, plan your story, create your story, and then appreciate it that we just get to be here and experience it. So it's amazing.
I love it. And I thank you so much for taking out the time to
Thank you,
meet
Nikki.
me and talk with the Nikki Rich Show. And I'm excited for what's to come.
Boy, boggles the mind. I'm excited for what's to come too.
Yeah.
Probably not flying cars. We've been dreaming of those forever, but there's a lot of change coming for sure.
Yes, I love it. And again, I love using my Siri because she lights up when I use her.
That's great.
She turns pink when I use her, so I like it. But thank you for talking with the Nikki Rich Show, Mr. Adam.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you so much.